Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another episode. And this is one that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now, because it is by far my favorite subgenre of horror. And no, I'm not talking about slashers. I'm not talking about found footage. I'm actually referring to psychological horror. Now, there are many ways to define this subgenre, but simply put, it focuses more on building suspense and creating a sense of dread than relying on jump scares and gore. Instead, the real scares come from what we see in the characters' eyes. Their expressions, their body language, the way they react to certain situations, or the things that they say. Now, depending on who you ask, psychological horror can also be considered a subset of supernatural horror, which is often associated with cosmic dread and existential fears. But today, I'll be focusing mainly on the ones that are grounded in reality, like the ones that have been featured in these videos. So, with that said, here's my list of the top 5 modern psychological horror movies that I believe deserve your attention. Just a warning before we get into it though, some of these films contain disturbing themes that some viewers might find upsetting. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, this list is gonna have some spoilers, so if you don't want any of the movies to be ruined for you, then I suggest you watch this after you finish watching them. With all that being said, let's begin. Starting off at number 5, we have Hush. This was a movie that caught me completely off guard when I first saw it. It had just the right amount of tension and suspense, great performances, decent plot, and an effective build-up. The basic premise is that a deaf-mute woman is stalked and terrorized by a masked killer in her isolated cabin. And even though it's obvious that she's in a perilous situation, the film never lets you know how she is going to escape or how she is going to fight back. So you're always left wondering what's going to happen next. And to make matters worse, he ends up coming back again and again. Even though it's a low-budget movie, it has its share of strong moments. For instance, the scene where she uses her computer to communicate with the outside world is really suspenseful. Because you never know if she is actually gone, be able to get help in time or not. And there are other scenes that will keep you on the edge of your seat as well. Like the sequence where she finds out who her stalker is and tries to defend herself. I won't spoil anything for you, but let's just say that the ending is pretty intense. Overall, Hush is a suspenseful and gripping thriller that delivers a solid dose of psychological horror. And it proves that you don't need a big budget to make a scary movie. All you need is a good story and talented cast and crew to bring it to life. So if you're looking for a movie that will keep you guessing until the very end, then I highly recommend Hush. Moving on at No. 4, we have The Gift. If you enjoyed the movie Silence of the Lambs, then chances are you'll appreciate this one as well because it shares many similarities with it. Both of them take place in rural areas, involve serial killers who target women, and have creepy, unsettling villains that stick with you long after you've finished watching the movie. In The Gift, the main character is a sheriff's deputy named Tommy Kopic, who is called to investigate the disappearance of a local woman named Robin Gustafson. As Tommy digs deeper into the case, he uncovers a series of disturbing clues that lead him to believe that Robin has become the latest victim of a serial killer known as the Butcher of Kinaway. To catch this killer, Tommy must confront his own inner demons and face the horrors of his past, including the unsolved murder of his sister years earlier. The movie does a great job of building suspense and keeping you on the edge of your seat as Tommy closes in on the killer. But it also takes the time to develop the characters and explore their backstories, which makes the story more engaging and emotionally resonant. The performances are solid throughout the movie, with Joel Edgerton giving a particularly chilling performance as the mysterious Simon. Overall, The Gift is a fantastic psychological horror movie that will keep you guessing until the very end. It's a must-watch for fans of the genre. Next up at No. 3, we have your next. While this movie is often categorized as a slasher, I personally feel that it transcends that subgenre because there is a greater focus on building suspense and psychological torment than just delivering mindless kills. The movie follows a family that gets together for a reunion at their vacation home, only to be targeted by a group of masked assailants who pick them off one by one. But things take a turn when a mysterious young woman who is dating the son of the family shows up and proves to be a skilled fighter and survivor. And as the body count rises, it becomes clear that she may be the only one who can protect the family from the attackers. One of the things that sets Unreliable apart from other slashers is the way it subverts audience expectations. For example, instead of the final girl being a virginal teenager, we have a woman who's experienced and confident. And instead of the killer being a mysterious figure who's never identified, we have a group of attackers with a personal connection to the family. Another thing that I appreciated about Your Next is the way it handles its violence. There are plenty of brutal and gory moments, but they're not gratuitous or exploitative. Instead, they serve to raise the stakes and create a sense of danger and realism. And lastly, the movie also has a lot of dark humor and witty dialogue that helps to balance the tension and keep the tone from getting too heavy. Overall, Yuri Next is a smart and entertaining slasher that will appeal to both longtime fans of the genre and newcomers alike. Coming down to No. 2. We have Oculus. This movie starts out with a bang, pulling you into a terrifying tale of a haunted mirror. Two siblings who have spent most of their lives in a Wisconsin foster home try to put their traumatic past behind them by moving to Seattle. However, their plans for a fresh start are quickly dashed when they are forced to return to their old home after their foster mother suddenly dies. Once they arrive, they discover that their estranged father has committed suicide and left them a mysterious antique mirror as an inheritance. They also find a box filled with newspaper clippings and photographs that document a series of strange and disturbing events that have occurred in their family over the years, all of which seem to be connected to the mirror. As they try to piece together the truth about their family's dark history, they soon realize that the mirror is a malevolent entity that has possessed several members of their family, driving them to commit unspeakable acts of violence. And as the film progresses, it becomes clear that the mirror has claimed another victim. So, to break the curse, once and for all, they must confront the evil within the mirror and destroy it. The movie builds suspense effectively and keeps you guessing until the end. Plus, it has a great twist that will leave you questioning everything you've seen. And with its stellar performances from Karen Gillan and Brenton Thwaites, Oculus is definitely a movie that you should add to your watch list. And finally, coming down to No. 1, we have Coherence. Now, this is a movie that's been talked about a lot over the last few years, and rightfully so. It's a mind-bending sci-fi horror film that's low budget but high concept, kind of like Primer or Resolution. On the surface, it's about a group of friends who attend a dinner party at one of their homes. And their evening takes a surreal turn when a comet passes overhead and causes some very strange things to happen. Because of this event, they each end up interacting with different versions of themselves and exploring alternate realities. But underneath the surface, it's really about the nature of reality and the butterfly effect. How even the smallest change can have huge consequences. The movie does a great job of keeping you on the edge of your seat. As the characters jump from one reality to the next, trying to figure out what's happening and how to stop it, the acting is solid and the direction is tight, which makes it easy to get lost in the film's complex plot. But what really sets Coherence apart is its thought-provoking script. The dialogue is sharp and witty, and the characters are well developed, which makes it easy to root for them as they try to navigate the different realities. Overall, Coherence is a fantastic movie that's sure to keep you thinking long after the credits roll. It's a must-watch for anyone who enjoys mind-bending thrillers or thought-provoking science fiction. Well, that's gonna do it for this list. Let me know in the comments below if any of these movies are your favorite or if I missed any good ones. And if you're still watching at this point, then thank you so much for watching. It's truly appreciated. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.